Our final author from the collection tonight is Brittany K. Touris. Brittany is a doula, birth educator, and storyteller originally from Rochester, New York. She is currently leading a nomadic lifestyle along the East Coast of the United States. Her goal is to redefine the way we think about reproductive health to be more inclusive, holistic, and choice-centered. Your love poem, Daphne, which she submitted, is a part of a larger collection of stories and poems titled Blood Bananas, which is still in the works.
Thank you, Darlene. And thank you to George and Darlene for putting this on. I'm so honored to be among such talented authors. So thank you. I'm gonna read from your love poem, Daphne. So here I go. Stanza 4. You wore a long sleeve vintage dress, perhaps the only piece of clothing Andrew hadn't bought you. You were smiling radiantly, but your eyes were red and your hair was wetted to your cheeks. You remember what the picture doesn't show, that you smelled of his sweat, and in your mind, his voice echoed slut. Caroline Street dipped and rose in the distance toward an emerald hill. You strode toward it and away from him, certainly uncertain. You made the sequins on your tapestry sparkle in the sunlight. Andrew didn't notice that you had the power to create sweetness around you, to turn ordinary life into a candy dream world. Looking away from him, your raspberry lips laced themselves up like a corset. Maybe you mistook the acid he took for truth serum and asked, "Do you really think I could be an Instagram model?" He told you, "Of course, when we're married someday, you'll make me very rich." His infinite pupils reflected your body, which was foreign to you now. Maybe it was then you realized your love was not a poem. Stanza 3. Your cucumber finger sandwiches were picture perfect in the Technicolor mist from the falls. Andrew picked them apart and fed the seagulls. You choked one down and apologized for them getting soggy on the car ride. You didn't know, often during that time you didn't, whether or not you were hungry. You would force yourself to eat, coveting the luscious curves of the other social media models. The falls, suspended in time, was nothing more than somber blues patched with frothy whites, overlaid with a vintage filter. The photo did not show the rumble and rush of a river tumbling to earth, or the smell of fresh rainfall releasing sweetness from the dirt, though it hadn't rained. Andrew asked, "Murder-suicide, which one of us would be the killer?" You stopped walking and peered down at the wild falls that looked like death now. Neither, I don't think. Would anyone be too surprised, though? I'd hope so. And then, I suppose I could see us making a suicide pact. You felt that was a reasonable compromise. It was silly for him to ask. You could never hurt him. You didn't get angry when you saw those texts to other women or when he ripped your mother's pearls from your neck. Instead, you swallowed your fear to understand his pain. Stanza 2. There was a watermark on the ceiling right above Andrew's bed. You probably watched it for quite a while before seeing the beauty in the soft yellow color and the patching of mold. Did the ceiling that wasn't yours remind you of the rent you didn't pay? You told him, "I think I'd like to go tanning, but I don't have any money for it." "Anything for you," he mumbled, falling asleep after the dispassionate sex you just had. "Baby," you said. He grunted. "I need you." You meant it. His eyes snapped open. "I'm right here." He wrapped his arm around you and pulled you in close to his body. Back then, you always believed what he told you. The sand patch, its paddle wheels turning nostalgia, made its way down the canal. You were finally able to eat ice cream again, and it was served to you instead of you serving it. This was before all the changes you had made to yourself. Every part of you exuded a beauty only God could create. Back then, you believed you were ugly. Now, when you see the pictures, you feel like you're looking at a memory of a loved one departed. Stanza 1. Andrew, on the front porch, was unsullied by your existence, smoke leaving his lungs and lofting through November air. Memories of him make you shiver, like you're still waiting for him to finish one never-ending cigarette. The sugar was a perfect snowfall around your delicate pastry mountain. It was beautiful and sweet, which made you feel beautiful and sweet. But you were not enough. So Daphne was born. Daphne was flowery and sensual. You changed your social media name. Now you were flowery and sensual too. You wore your sunglasses, winged eyeliner, purse, and a crimson scarf. It was dreamy, the sound of your heels clicking finally accompanied by the thumping of his work boots. What whimsy he had about him. Breeziness in his soft, steady voice. He was different from most people in Rochester. Ripened peaches formed on your cheeks when you smiled at his jokes. Andrew and you posed together, with the cash register between you. Your smile was uncertain. After he took the photo, he said, "Now we'll always remember the day we met." He asked you how long you had worked there. You told him that this job was only temporary. You wanted to become an Instagram model. He said, "Perfect, you can post our selfie." The ice cream overwhelmed the turquoise paper cup as you handed it to a tanned and worn hand. Your eyes ambled up the veins in an arm to a face. His eyes squinted when he smiled. You wondered, is this the moment in my story where I meet the love of my life or the devil who destroys it?
Thank you, Brittany.